I've been thinking a lot about tariffs lately, and I can't help but wonder how they're shaping our world in 2025. You might be wondering, why are you talking about taxes? Well, buckle up because we're about to dive into the fascinating world of tariffs. What they are, their history, and how they affect us all. And trust me, it's more interesting than it sounds. Like, way more interesting than watching paint dry, which I may or may not have done for a video once. So, what exactly is a tariff? Well, it's not just another boring tax. It's like a bouncer at the border of our economy deciding who gets in and at what cost. Essentially, a tariff is a tax imposed by a government on imported goods. But here's the kicker, it's levied at the border before the product even enters our domestic economy. Think of it as a cover charge for products wanting to party in our economic nightclub. And just like a cover charge can influence who shows up at a club, tariffs can dramatically affect what products make it onto our shelves and at what price. Now, you might think tariffs are some newfangled economic tool, but they've been around since the birth of our nation. In fact, tariffs were like the cool kids of the revenue world back in the day. They were the primary source of federal income for much of early U.S. history. But then, plot twist. In 1913, the 16th Amendment crashed the tariff party. Suddenly, we had a federal income tax, and tariffs were no longer the belle of the revenue ball. After the Great Depression, tariffs got a makeover. They became less about making money and more about playing economic chess with other countries. And now, in 2025, we're still feeling the effects of this centuries-old economic tool. Now, you might be thinking, a tax is a tax, right? Well, not quite. Tariffs are like the rebel cousins in the tax family. While other taxes like sales, income, or property taxes are mainly about filling up the government's piggy bank, tariffs have a different agenda. They're more interested in playing puppet master with international trade. Tariffs directly affect the price of imported goods, potentially leading to higher prices for U.S. consumers. But their main gig isn't just about making money. It's about influencing trade dynamics, protecting domestic industries, and sometimes even flexing muscles in international relations. It's like economic diplomacy, but with price tags. And in 2025, with our increasingly digital and globalized economy, understanding these differences is crucial. Hey YouTube, ever wondered why governments mess around with tariffs? Well, it's complicated, like most relationships, but especially those between countries. On one hand, tariffs can be used to protect domestic industries. It's like putting a force field around our own products to give them a fighting chance against foreign competition. But, there's a catch. Tariffs are a double-edged sword. While they might protect some industries, they can hurt others and often end up costing consumers more. In our 2025 economy, this balancing act is more delicate than ever. In our increasingly interconnected world of 2025, tariffs don't just affect the countries directly involved. They can send ripples across the global economy. It's like throwing a stone in a pond, except the pond is the world economy, and the stone is a tax policy. These ripples can lead to trade wars, where countries keep slapping tariffs on each other like a really high-stakes game of economic tag. It's like everyone decides to build walls around their economic sandboxes, but then realizes they need the sand from other boxes to build their castles. And in 2025, with our advanced tech and complex supply chains, these effects can be felt faster and more intensely than ever before. Now, let's talk about our current situation in 2025. But first, a disclaimer. The scenario we're discussing is hypothetical, based on discussions from way back in 2019. It's like we're economic time travelers, looking at what people thought might happen. So, imagine we're in a parallel universe where these 2019 predictions came true. In this alternate 2025, let's say we have hypothetical tariffs on countries like Mexico, Canada, and China. Think of it as a thought experiment, but with more spreadsheets and less philosophy. And hey, who doesn't love a good spreadsheet? Anyone? Just me? Okay, moving on. In our hypothetical 2025 tariff verse, the consequences could be pretty significant. We might see a negative impact on U.S. economic growth. It's like trying to run a race with weights on your ankles. There could be job losses due to disrupted trade and economic slowdown. It's a bit like a game of economic musical chairs. where some industries gain jobs, others lose them. But overall, there are fewer chairs when the music stops. And in 2025, with automation and AI in the mix, this job shuffle could be even more complex and unpredictable. We might see traditional jobs disappear while entirely new careers emerge. It's like the job market is playing a high-tech game of Tetris, with AI and automation constantly changing the shapes. As we navigate this complex economic landscape, it's clear that the impacts of tariffs in 2025 are far-reaching and intricate. In this tariff-heavy alternate 2025, consumers might find themselves paying more for goods. Businesses, especially those reliant on imported components, could face increased production costs. It's like trying to bake a cake when the price of eggs has tripled. You either make a smaller cake, charge more, or find a way to bake without eggs. In our hypothetical tariff scenario, some sectors would feel the heat more than others. Agriculture, automotive, and energy industries could be among the most affected. It's like these sectors are sitting in the splash zone of an economic water park. They're going to get wet, whether they like it or not. In this alternate 2025, we might expect to see retaliatory measures from other countries, potentially escalating trade conflicts. It's like an international game of economic ping-pong, where every serve is met with an increasingly aggressive return. And with the speed of information in 2025, these reactions could happen faster than ever, creating a whirlwind of economic policy changes. As we wrap up our journey through this hypothetical tariff landscape, it's crucial to remember that the future of global trade is always evolving. While we've explored a what-if scenario based on old predictions, the real 2025 might look very different. The key is to stay informed and understand how these economic policies can affect our daily lives. Who knows? Maybe by 2030, we'll be dealing with tariffs on interplanetary trade. Mars cheese, anyone? And there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of tariffs and their potential impacts. While we've explored a hypothetical scenario, the real world of international trade is just as complex and fascinating. Whether you're a consumer, a business owner, or just someone trying to understand the economy, knowing about tariffs is like having a secret decoder ring for the global marketplace. Stay curious, stay informed, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the one solving these economic puzzles in the future. Or at least you'll have some really interesting fun facts for your next dinner party. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights.